So, Heartland channeling Herb Morreale, and I'm curious, how many people in the room know who Herb is? Okay, so probably 10 people, students not. Herb is unquestionably one of our most loyal and active alumni, someone who's very much engaged with the department, someone who has been very successful in the world, and one of those people who, as the saying goes, is very much wanting to give back. But in addition to mentioning that I'm channeling Herb, who was actually out at the Winter Olympics, couldn't be here for that reason. What we're talking about here, actually, let's go to the next slide. This is really something that grows from the influence of Evie Nemeth. And do any of the current students know who Evie is? So whenever I talk about this, I realize that, and I'll mention this to my colleagues, and maybe we can get each other to do this. We should get a picture of Evie and put something up in the department area with a description of who she is. Evie's still with us. She retired a number of years ago, and she spends much of her time on her sailboat in various oceans. But when she was here, she did a lot of things that really shaped this department, probably as much or more than anyone else. And one of the things that she did for many years was to run an organization that was sometimes called UGrad Ops, sometimes called Unix Ops. And it goes back to the time when Unix was sort of a little-known new thing coming out of Bell Labs. And Evie was one of the first people in the country to really get a good understanding of what Unix was and how to run it. And so she came to this campus at a time when nobody was doing that, and created a Unix operation here. Now these days, Unix is really important for everybody, and ITS is on top of it and all of that, but there was a time when none of that was true. So Evie not only ran the computer operations for the department, but she took on as clients lots of other departments around the campus that needed this kind of thing. And she did this very largely aided by undergraduate students. So this was a great opportunity for undergrads to really learn hands-on about modern computing technology. And some years ago, we did an alumni survey, and one of the things that was unmistakable in that survey was that the alumni who really felt they had gotten the most from their time here was undergrads who had worked with Evie. And we've tried to learn from that in various ways. Some of you know about the Digital and Social System Professional Development class that's directly inspired by things that Evie did. Anyway, Herb was one of those undergrads who had that experience working with Evie all those years ago. And Herb was very much aware of how sort of the people that he met and the things that he was led into doing really shaped his life in a profound way. So I'll mention a couple of things there, which maybe he would mention here. So one thing is that he met through that activity another one of our most loyal alums, Trent Hine, and Herb and Trent went off together, and right after graduation they started a company together called XR, which became hugely successful, and they sold it at just about time and all of that stuff. And that came out of this kind of encounter between the two of them when they were students here. And then another thing which I know Herb would mention is that he met his wife Terry, who's another of our very loyal alums, and he met her through this kind of activity. So Herb is very attuned to this notion that little things initially, meeting somebody that you might not have met, can really have big effects. And he's developed a number of activities based on this, one of which is this Domino Award. So let's go further. So we've actually been doing this kind of off and on since it says there 2002. And the award is really a way to draw our students into sort of further engagement with the department and with the larger community here. So as you see there, you get some money out of this. I need to decode the second line there. What we've done when possible is to bring the Domino Award winners to something called the Telluride Tech Fest, which is an amazing event that happens at Telluride. Both Herb and Trent have a lot of attachments to the community down there. And this is a special event where the attendees, and it's open to anybody, but because it's Telluride, there are not all that many people around. But if you're an attendee there, then you were in a small group of people mixing with amazing technology figures. So one of the people that was at the Telluride Tech Fest one year was Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. So If you had been the Domino Award winner that year, you would have met Neil Armstrong. And I can give lots of other examples. Ray Kurzweil, lots of other people there. Sadly, the Telluride Tech Fest is kind of an uncertain proposition. We don't know that it's going to happen this year, so that's why that's not mentioned specifically. But we will be having an event, one or more events of some kind that will give you an opportunity to meet a technology leader. So for the award last year, Bill Coleman, who some of you know is the chief donor behind the Coleman Institute here at CU, and a very leading technology entrepreneur was here and gave a talk, and we'll be setting up another activity there. So you can read other parts of the description there. Let's go to the next slide. So it's deliberately really easy to enter. So this is not intended to be something that's kind of fiercely competitive. It's intended to be more inclusive. So that's what it says there. You've got to decide that there's somebody that you feel has really shaped the field that you would want to recognize. We'll be announcing shortly, so watch for email. We'll be announcing this year's deadlines. And actually, if I'm speaking to somebody through the medium of videotape out there in the future, in your future year, whatever year that is, we'll be giving you the deadline there. Let's go to the next one. And this is looking back a little bit. So these are back to the beginning of the students who have won this. And Ben, if you were here, I know would be saying that this has been participating in the Domino's program has really been huge in his life. That's kind of the theme here. So you do something that seems simple, like, well, I'll write this little essay and see what happens. So Ben did that, and he was a winner. He went to Telluride and actually ended up getting the first major job in his career through the connections that he made through the Domino program. So I'll hope that those of you in the real audience here will think about entering this. We should be getting the word to you pretty soon about it. And you out there in video land in the future, I hope you think about it too. So thanks a lot.